Start recording. Stop recording. Button.
Well, good evening, everybody, once again. I hope everybody is doing well on this Thursday evening. So, in this video, let me see if my air conditioner will work. Yep, I'll turn it on for a while. In this video, I'm going to tell you guys the story of me, or I should say, my ex-girlfriend, Megan, and I. Not really the story, but how we met, how we got into the relationship, and everything. This video, I'm doing this because my friend James, who I've mentioned in a few videos now, has checked out some of my videos, and he's not subscribed yet, but because he doesn't know how to subscribe to YouTube channels, which I'm going to show him how to do, because he is a voiceover user. But I talked to him a little while ago, and I do have an update about my friend James and his girlfriend, but we'll leave that for tomorrow. But anyway, he saw some videos with me and Megan in our happy times in our relationship. And he wanted to know, how did we meet, and how did we end up dating, and why did we break up? So I thought, I'll just tell y'all, if I have before, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but if I haven't, I'll tell y'all how we met and how everything happened. So, her and I met on a social networking app for the visually impaired and blind called Vorel. What happened was, it was January of 2018, and on Vorel, you can do public posts, you can make public posts, and you can private message with people. And the posts can be about anything. You can, post music, you can ask questions, pretty much anything and everything. Well, one night I was in a silly mood, and I was messing with Siri, and I was doing a public post, and I was just asking Siri silly questions. Well, it just so happens, after I posted it, in the answers, because you can respond to someone's post publicly or privately, well, in the answers publicly, guess who responded to my post publicly? You guessed it, Megan. And I thought to myself, wow, she's like so nice. I'm going to check out her profile, because on Vorel you can listen to people's profiles. So I checked out her profile, and one post that really stood out. There were two posts that I loved from her. There's a post of her and her grandfather, Christmas of 2016, of her and her grandfather, or was it the Christmas of 2017? Yes, it was the Christmas of 2017, not 16, sorry. Her and her grandfather were playing Christmas carols. And it was like such a beautiful post. They were both playing the keyboard, and they were all singing and everything. And then there was a second post that I really loved. She was opening up Christmas gifts with her family. So I proceeded to message her and say, hey, my name's Thomas. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm always looking for new friends. And I said, I really love your profile. Because I had gone through the whole profile. And I just left it at that. I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, well, if I hear from her, I hear from her, and if I don't, I don't. And I heard back from her, and we started talking, and then I don't know, maybe it was a couple weeks later. I asked her, do you want to exchange numbers? And at the time she said that she'd rather talk on Varel, and I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. So months went by, and we got closer, and with our friendship, and we realized that we had a lot in common, um, and then fast forward to July of 2018. It was Varel. There were a lot of rumors at the time flying around that Varel was going down. The app was apparently going down, and the app developer was not going to update the app. Well, I got a little bit worried because we had become so close as friends. I didn't want to lose her as a friend. Meaning, if Varel went down, I had no other way to contact her. So I told her that, Varel might be going away, and I was wondering, I said, is it okay if, can we exchange numbers? Well, she gave me her number, and then we still talked on the app, but we also talked off of the app. We started FaceTiming, and we really got to know each other. We talked 3-4 hours at a time sometimes on FaceTime. And it was really fun. It was really, 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 really fun. It wasn't, even the first conversation with her was not awkward at all. The conversation flowed very well. And, after a while, we made a schedule for when we could talk. And we were not dating yet. And so, anyway, when we exchanged numbers, and once we started really getting to know each other, I started having feelings for her. And I did not know what to do, because the thing is, I didn't want to, she had never dated before. I knew this. I also knew that she wasn't into the dating scene. That's what she said. I didn't ask her. She just said that in a private message on Varel one time. So anyway, I told a few of my friends on Varel who I could trust. I'm like, I have feelings for Megan, and, I don't want to tell her because I don't want to scare her off, and I don't want to ruin our friendship. What do I do? What do I do? And they're like, just tell her. And of course, I was like, no, in my mind, like, no, I can't tell her. I don't want to scare her away. Well, the last week of October. No, what am I saying? The last week of September, you guys. It was a Tuesday night. I'll never forget this. She sent me a private message on Varel. Okay? In my inbox. And she asked me, am I more than a friend to you? And I thought, oh boy. So I didn't beat around the bush at all. And she said, well, first of all, she said, am I more than a friend to you? And she proceeded to tell me that she liked me. And I was thrilled. Like, I was so thrilled. Well, I messaged her back, very excited, and told her, in fact, yes, I liked her. And then, we talked, and, we went back and she was kind of like wishy-washy at the time. She didn't know if she really wanted this, and I'm like, listen, is this what you really want? I asked her. I remember asking her this in a private message. I said, because she was being wishy-washy. I said, listen, is this what you really want? Do you really want, you said you liked me, so, basically what I was saying to her indirectly is, well, if you like me, then, let's date. That's basically what I was indirectly saying. And she finally made up her mind, and we made it official on Saturday, October 6th. Okay, never mind. So this wasn't the last week. She said she liked me on October 2nd, because that was a Tuesday. So, okay. All right. So, anyway. So she's like, so we made it official on my YouTube channel, and if you guys want to go way back to last October, you can see that video. Anyway, so we started dating, and I quickly fell in love with her fast. Very fast. And I think I can't speak for her, but I think she quickly fell in love with me too, and she still was trying to process. I'm sure she was still trying to process everything, and because this was all new to her. And of course I asked her, if she wanted to sleep on FaceTime, and I asked her on the 6th of October. This was after we made it official. So we were dating when I asked her that. It was in a text message, like we had FaceTime that night. And, we got off FaceTime that night, and I asked her. And she said, not right now. She said, I'm not ready for that right now. She said maybe in a few days, or in a couple weeks. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So then that Wednesday, we both decided that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to, we both agreed that we wanted to sleep on FaceTime together, and we both agreed that we were going to FaceTime every day. All right, so that didn't work for very long. The following Tuesday night, we were on FaceTime. It was pretty late. It was like almost 1 o'clock in the morning my time. She went to her computer. I don't know what she was doing, but she said she would be back in a few minutes. And then we would go to bed. Now, let me back up here. On Tuesday afternoon, she asked me because for those of you who don't know, Megan has depression and anxiety. So she asked me that day, during the day, if I was to go away for a week, would you still be here when I got back? When she got back, she asked me, and I said yes, of course. Anyway, so that night, it was around 1 o'clock in the morning. She said, I'll be back in a few minutes, then we'll go to bed. Well, so then I proceeded. She was on my iPad, and I had my phone free, so I just called my friend Sam, just to see what he was up to, and we FaceTime. She comes back. She hangs up on me. I didn't know what was going on. She texted me. I think she said, I'm going to get help, or I need help, or somewhere along those lines. And I at that point, I was really worried. I thought she had, I thought she was going to a hospital. I didn't know what was going on. So I was really worried about her. I'm even surprised I slept that night. That afternoon, I I recorded a voice memo for her, and I was just playing music, and all of a sudden I just broke down because I missed her so much. I don't think I ever cried so hard in my life. I just couldn't. It was all too much, if that makes sense to y'all. It was just, I wasn't hearing at all from her. Nothing. You know, I just wasn't hearing from her, and I was super worried. I didn't know what was going on with her. A million things were going through and I just broke down in the voice memo. Now, my intention was obviously not to break down, in the voice memo. I didn't want her to see me or hear me cry, but I just broke down. I was praying to God. I was like, God, please, let everything be okay or whatever. Well, I sent her that voice memo. Not because I wanted her to feel sorry for me, but the only reason why I sent her the voice memo is because, before I broke down, I was playing music for her. I was singing her songs. So the next morning, I finally hear from her. She wasn't saying if she was okay or not. She's like, I'll text you later, or whatever. I'm busy. I'll text you later. Blah blah blah. So I texted her throughout the day. Nothing at all from her. The next day, I think I heard from her. Then the next night, I sent her a few messages on Skype saying, no. First, I sent her. Oh wait, back up. That night, that Thursday night, I tried FaceTiming her. She would decline my call, and I thought, if she's in a hospital, I wonder if they're letting her have her phone. I wonder if they're taking it away. I don't know. So, at that time, I didn't know if she was in a crisis center. I didn't know if she was in the hospital. I didn't know what was going on. She wasn't telling me anything. And that's why I was so worried. That week was extremely hard for me emotionally. It was really hard. Anyway, so then, all right, the next day, I don't know if I heard from her or not. Can't remember. I might have. Saturday night comes. I try to FaceTime her a couple times. She kept declining my calls. I called her on Skype. Same thing. And then she texted me saying, no Skype calls, no FaceTime calls. And I kept asking her, why not? She didn't answer me. Then that night, I texted her and I'm like, somewhere along the lines of, I sent her an audio message on Skype pretty much saying, all right, I'm breaking up with you. I'm done. Because at that point, I was done. I had such an emotional week. And I'm not, trying to make anybody feel sorry for me. I'm just telling you the story, telling you, everything that happened, with Megan and I. All right. So no response to that. I texted her asking her, what do you want to do? Do you still want to be in a relationship? If you don't, I totally understand. Because at that point, I was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't want this. This is just too much stress. And that's honestly how I was feeling at the time, okay? So she texted me back saying, I'm really sorry. Somewhere along the lines of, I'm really sorry. I'm not ready for a relationship right now. And I texted her back and I said, okay, we'll just be friends. And that was it. And I thought to myself, all right, it's all over, But then that Monday, I decided, okay, you know what? I decided that Monday night, 2 days later, that, okay, you know what? Actually, in fact, I did want a relationship with her. So I sent her an audio message saying, why don't we work this out? I do want a relationship with you. And now she wanted to wait until we met before we got back into a relationship. And that didn't make any sense to me, to wait until we met. That just didn't make any sense. So that Monday night, she started texting me, and she thought I was mad at her because she didn't talk to me that last week. And I said, no, of course I'm not mad at you. And I said, well, do you want to FaceTime tomorrow night, being Tuesday night? And she said, what did she say? She didn't really, I can't remember her really giving me an answer. I think she said yes. Anyway, so I FaceTimed her that night. She didn't answer. She texted me saying, this is, I can't FaceTime tonight because I guess she was experiencing anxiety. Anyway, so the next night, I'm like, why don't we, can we go back to this, can we go back to FaceTiming every night except for Wednesday nights and Friday nights? Because that's what we were originally doing. And she said, yes, as long as you respect my privacy. And of course, I was respecting her privacy, anyway. But I'm like, of course I'll respect your privacy. So, all right. So the next morning, she asked me if I wanted to FaceTime. This was Thursday morning now. Okay. That night, we FaceTimed. We worked things out. We got back together. Things were good. We were back on our FaceTime schedule. And things were good. Let's fast forward now to November. Okay. All right. So in November, on November 21st, wait a minute. No, on November 20th, that Tuesday night, no, wait a minute, back up. A couple weeks before this night, she asked me if I wanted to join her support group, which is an online chat for people to get support or for people just to talk. And it's a lonely room, and it's basically, you guys, just a place where people went if they were lonely, depressed, whatever. Just really,
Camera chooser.
yeah,
Stop recording.
just really a place for people to talk. And she asked me if I wanted to join the chat a couple weeks before this night. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So she's like, all right, I'll ask my support group if you can join. Well, they said yes. So on the night of November 20th, which is Megan's birthday, she helped me get an account. And at first, it was hard for me to navigate the chat room. So, like, I dictated what I wanted to say in my phone, and if they responded to me, she would read me their messages to me. And we stayed up all night that night, and then on the 21st, which was a Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, that morning, I said, do you want to FaceTime tonight after work, and we can go on the chat? Because at that point, I still needed her help on reading the messages to me, or their messages to me. And she's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, I'll call you at 11:30 my time. And she's like, all right. So I called her that night at 11:30 my time. She that night asked me, do you want to FaceTime every day? And she also asked me if I wanted to sleep on FaceTime. She was the one who asked me if I wanted to, sleep on FaceTime. And I'm like, only if you want to. And she's like, yeah, I want to. And so we did, Oh my gosh. All right. The 28th comes around, right? Which was a Wednesday. That day, it was really early in the morning. She asked me, she's like, do you want to FaceTime 24/7? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. So we did that. And as time went on, it got tough for the both of us, because there were some things that she told me on the night of the 21st, some personal things that I'm not going to say in this video. But I did find out the real reason why she bailed on me. And it was some personal things that I know, that I didn't know at the time when she bailed on me. And the truth is, she did not go to a hospital. She did not go get help. She lied to me about that. So what she told me is she just needed time. She called it me time. She needed time to herself for a week. That was the truth. Well, so anyway, we were, FaceTiming, 24/7 at this point. I would take her places with me. I'd have my phone with me and I'd take her places with me. On Christmas Eve, well, no, not on Christmas Eve, but the day before Christmas Eve, I went to my cousin Richie's house. I took her there with me on my phone on FaceTime. That was fun. And on Christmas Day, I took her with me to my cousin Ryan's house. And one of the things that made it tough sometimes, there were a few things that kind of put a strain on this. Well, not a strain, but there were a few things that that were kind of tough. Well, number one, sometimes when Megan, sometimes the FaceTime calls would drop, and she wouldn't be near her iPad sometimes. So, I would call back, and, sometimes it'd be inconvenient because she wasn't always near her iPad. She pretty much took me everywhere with her, except for the bathroom, of course. But, and of course we slept together on FaceTime, of course. Now, another thing was, she would, when we went to bed, she would put on Yellow Brick Cinema. She would just, select a 7-hour video or an 8-hour video. When we took naps together in the afternoon, she would put on a 6-hour video from Yellow Brick Cinema. So around right after New Year's, she told me that you know, on January. No, wait. On January 7th, she told me that things were like she told me the distance was getting hard for her, and I understand. Um, and Also, she expressed to me a few days before that, that she you know wanted to listen to her music, like listen to her own sleep music when we went to bed. Um, and she's like, "How are we gonna do that?" And I'm like, "Well, what I can do, which we didn't get to try this, but what I wanted to do, since she wanted to listen to her own for since she wanted to listen to her own music, I was fine with that, of course." And I'm like, "All right, listen, why don't you?" I said, "I can play." The deep sleep music. I can play the Yellow Brick the Yellow Brick Cinema on my iPad, and I'll mute the call so you don't hear it, and you play your music." And she's like, "Well, aren't you going to hear my music?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. I'm going to turn my volume all the way down on my phone and I won't hear anything." And she's like, "Oh, okay." Well, January 8th comes around. It's Tuesday afternoon, right, you guys? We're almost at the end. January 8th comes around. That Tuesday afternoon, her dad comes over. The call drops. The FaceTime call drops. I FaceTime her. She declined my call. Before this, I forgot to tell you guys something. Back in December, she did something that I think was not cool at all. So it was a Tuesday, I think. It was December. I had fallen asleep on FaceTime. When I woke up, the call had dropped. No, my phone had died. The call didn't drop. I called her back. I could not get a hold of her for 4 hours. And this worried me because, I knew that she has depression. And, I worried about her a lot because I knew that she had depression. So I worried about her. I worried about her a lot when we were dating. I worried about her a lot. So I could not get a hold of her for 4 hours. Finally, I got a hold of her. She said, "Well, I didn't feel like taking my iPad into my room because, she made the shitty excuse that the call could have dropped and I would have had it." Then she said she would have she would have had to get out of bed. Anyway, so there was that day. All right. So that really wasn't cool. She had shut her phone off and her iPad off. So that really wasn't cool. Because I couldn't get a hold of her for 4 hours, you guys, and I was really worried. I was worried about her. All right, so let's fast forward to January 8th. January 8th comes around. It's a Tuesday, okay? All right. So January 8th comes around. Her dad comes over that Tuesday afternoon to help her with some stuff around the house. Well, the call drops, okay? The call drops. The FaceTime call dropped. I called her back. She declined me. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I went on the chat. She was on there. I told her, "I've been trying to call you. I've been trying to FaceTime you." And she said, I can't talk right now. And I was kind of worried. I'm like, what do you mean you can't talk right now? And she didn't go into any detail. She didn't say anything after that. So a couple hours later, luckily the main moderator was on, and she's like, I talked to Megan. She's fine. She just needs a break from her electronics. That's what she told me. That's what the main moderator of the chat told me. Well, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that. I knew something else had to be going on. So then she gave me the cold shoulder for 4 weeks for no reason. She blocked me from calling her. And to clarify, I wasn't even calling her that much. She blocked me, and she, what else did she do? She blocked me. So, I confront her about it. I said, why'd you block me? She said on the chat, after 4 weeks, she finally talked to me. And all right, so let's fast forward 4 weeks. So I said, why did you block me? I said, I want to FaceTime with you. I want to talk to you. I want to work this out. She said, she didn't give me a reason why she blocked me, but she did say that she couldn't FaceTime with me all the time. She, went on and on about how busy she was, when actually, you guys, she really isn't busy. She just stays at home most of the time playing with her dolls and Furbies. So, yeah. So I'm like, yeah. She would not unblock me. I tried to ask her. I said, can you please unblock me? She wouldn't do it. So finally, well, first of all, for those 4 weeks, it was like an emotional roller coaster. And in my opinion, it really wasn't fair what she put me through. Emotionally, it was terrible. Those 4 weeks were terrible. Finally, 2 days before I go to Florida, she finally did it. She said to me on the chat, I don't want to be your girlfriend anymore. I'm uncomfortable about how the relationship is going. Now, I don't know what was making her feel uncomfortable about the relationship. I wasn't doing anything to make her feel uncomfortable. I always took it slow with her. I always tried my best with her. But I always felt like I was putting all the work into the relationship, and I always felt like she wasn't putting in any effort into the relationship. I always felt that way. Anyway, so that's what she said. She said, please don't call me. And I'm like, okay. And that was it. So we talked, after that we stayed friends, and we talked cordially. And then recently the chat room became password protected. And I don't know what the password is to the chat room that I was talking to her in, and so I haven't talked to her. But that is the story of me and Megan. Do I still wish I was with her? No, because of all the shit that she put me through. Would I do it over if I could turn back the hands of time? No, because of, again, everything that she put me through. And I'm not pointing fingers. This is just the truth. So, you guys, that is the story. That is what happened. There you go. There you go. So, yep, that is the story of me and Megan. That's everything that happened, you guys. So, yep. It seems like she has given up on her YouTube channel. That's what it seems like. She hasn't done a video since January on her channel. So it seems like she's given up on her YouTube channel. But I mean, we had some good times, Megan and I. We did. We had some good times, I got to meet her mom over FaceTime. I got to meet her brother over FaceTime. Well, not really. I mean, I heard his voice, but he called her to wish her a happy new year. And I heard his voice, but I didn't talk to him. I got to meet her dad on FaceTime. And as you guys know, we used to do YouTube. We used to do videos on on my channel and on her channel. We did have a lot of good times. There were more good times than bad times, but I would definitely, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would not do it again. Not after everything she put me through. But that's that, you guys. That's the story of me and Megan. That's everything that happened. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And y'all take care. And please check out my amazing friend Nikki Wonderlick's channel. Please check out LawnBoy8461's channel. Please check out Patty Mayo's channel. What else? Please check out Depression to Expression. Please check out that channel. Please check out... Well, first of all, Depression to Expression is a great YouTube channel for people who have mental illness and people who have depression and anxiety. Please check out Yellow Brick Cinema. Yellow Brick Cinema is a great YouTube channel for, well, you can listen to different music for meditating, music for studying, and deep sleep music. Folks, they also have 24-hour live streams. Yep. So, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. And you guys always feel free to leave comments down below. I will respond to I always will respond to your comments. Y'all take care.